The Lakers drop their season opener to the Denver Nuggets on the road, 119 to 107. A disappointing start to the 2023 campaign for the Lakers. There's a lot of storylines to jump into from this game, but I have to start off by asking you guys to start it off for me. What is your one-word reaction to the Lakers' loss in the opening season? There's a lot of words that come to mind, and I think the one I'm going to go with right away is disappointing. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section, but mine is disappointing. And you might say, how could you be disappointed when you lost to the defending NBA champions on the road? Like, you were underdogs in this game. You were expected to lose. But I just felt like the performance by the Lakers was not up to what they could give out. In this entire offseason, we heard the entire time about how much depth this Lakers team has, how much better they are going to be defensively, because they were so good defensively in the second ladder of the NBA season last year, and it led them to the Western Conference Finals, where they got swept by this team they lost to tonight. And they weren't able to come out, and I thought they came out a little flat in this game. But one of the big storylines I want to touch on is Anthony Davis. And do the Lakers have an Anthony Davis problem? And you might say to yourself, well, what does an Anthony Davis problem look like? The problem that I'm referring to is the fact that he had 17 points. Now, you look at the box score to my right, 17 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, 6-17 shooting is not great. But 17, 8, and 4, it's not the worst game in the world. But when you take into consideration that Anthony Davis scored 17 points in the first half, which means he did not score in the final 24 minutes of this basketball game. How can you call yourself a top 15 player in the NBA? One of the best two-way big men in our league. Yet, when you play the top-tier competition of Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, you look unworldly, like a top 5 player in the NBA in the first half, with 6 of 11 at the break. And then you go 0 for 6? 0 for 6 in the second half? You completely disappear from this game? The Lakers, who had lofty aspirations coming into the season, and I'm not going to say those aspirations are already dead after one game. God, no. This is a talented team. They got to the Western Conference Finals last year. They still have AD. They still have LeBron. But how long are we going to continue to say, oh, they still have AD? Because he might be one of the most inconsistent basketball players I have ever seen. And I don't want to harp on the guy too much, because he did help bring championship number 17 to the Lakers in 2019-2020 during that bubble. And he was terrific. I'd say the best player in that finals. I think he was better than LeBron, who won NBA Finals. MVP, I should say. But Anthony Davis has continuously been a player that is up and down his entire NBA career. And it has not stopped, at least in Game 1 of the 2023 season, because Anthony Davis went missing. MIA. Put out a poster on the streets of Denver because Anthony Davis is missing from this Lakers team. He no-showed in the second half, and it couldn't be more disappointing. What was disappointing is his lack of defense. We talk about him as a two-way god, one of the best defensive players in the NBA. Well, he gave up 29 points, 13 rebounds, and 11 assists to Nikola Jokic, who shot 12 of 22, 54.5% from the field. Are you kidding? Listen, Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Just won Finals MVP. He's a two-time MVP. So I'm not going to say that he should be locking him up, because no one can lock up Nikola Jokic. But Anthony Davis did not even guard Nikola Jokic for the latter part of this game. He shied away from that matchup, and he was getting cooked in the first half as well. I don't want to turn this entire show on an Anthony Davis slander party, but it was severely disappointing to watch Anthony Davis disappear from the second half and disappear from the game on the offensive end and also get cooked by Nikola Jokic the entire game on the other side of the floor. More breakdowns of this game in a bit, but I got to give a shout out to our sponsor for today's show, and that is Prize Picks. If you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS, you get that first deposit match up to $100. Instead of playing pros and sharks like on other daily fantasy sports platforms, you just play the numbers. Pick 2 to 6 player stat projections, pick more than or less than, and if you pick right, you can watch those winnings roll in. Like I said, 2 to 6. I went with 3 on the opening night of the NBA. I went more than Steph Curry half a point. Yep, that'll do it. I'll go more than Bruce Brown 4 rebounds tomorrow. That'll do it. What will not do it? I took more than LeBron James 6.5 assists. He finished with 5. Severely disappointing. Thought the King was going to dish him out tonight. He did not. So I ended up losing this selection. But hey, Prize Picks is still awesome because they have quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, with an enormous amount of stat projections to choose from. I love Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. But let's look at the Lakers offensively now. Let's just take it away from just Anthony Davis and look at the team as a whole. 107 points, 23 assists, 52 rebounds. Shot 45.6% from the field, 41-90, but the number that's concerning. 10 for 29 from beyond the arc, which came out to 34.5%. And if you didn't know, 34.4%, which is what the Miami Heat shot last year, ranked 27th in the NBA. So these numbers will not cut it from beyond the arc if you were the Los Angeles Lakers. Taurean Prince was a bright spot for this team. He shot the ball from beyond the arc very well. Gabe Vincent stunk from 3. LeBron James made 1 3, but he couldn't really hit anything else other than that, and at one point hit the side of the backboard on a corner 3 in the first quarter. The Lakers' offense was concerning, man. I think it all starts with Anthony Davis, and I hate to continue to go back on Anthony Davis and rag on him, but you can't have your best player or second best player just no-show the entire game. I mean, LeBron James gave you a good line. 21 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 10 of 16 from the field. You're supposed to win the games when LeBron does that. And you were not able to because Anthony Davis went MIA in the second half. It's disappointing, man. It really is. And I thought this game was winnable. Like, the Nuggets obviously played well, scoring 119 points. The Lakers' defense not as good as it was at the second half of last year, allowing the Nuggets to shoot 52.7% from the field. They shot 41% from 3, which is outstanding. They had a lot of assists, and you actually out-rebounded them, but rebounding doesn't really tell the whole story of this game. You did give up a lot of second-chance points to the Denver Nuggets. At one point, the Nuggets had 13 second-chance points. The Lakers had 0. That's not good. But the Lakers' defense was a top 5 defense in the NBA last season in the second half of that year, after the trade deadline. You expect that to carry over. It did not. Now, how much can you put that on Jared Vanderbilt not playing? I think you could put that on a lot because Jared Vanderbilt is one of the best defensive players in the NBA and is so versatile for the Lakers where he can guard 2 through 5. And I'm not saying he can even guard 1. He was guarding Steph Curry a little bit in that second round playoff series last year. So I'm not going to say that the season is over and that the Lakers have a serious issue, but I will come out and say that I don't like the way the Lakers looked in their first game. And I have no problem saying that. They struggled defensively. They struggled offensively. They couldn't make three-pointers. They couldn't defend. And the Nuggets are one of the best offensive teams that we've seen. So it's not that big of a killer. But as a team that prides themselves on defense, and that's how they got going last year, was defense. They didn't show up on the defensive end at all today, and that to me was a major disappointment. Before we head out of here, I want to make sure you guys do subscribe because we're doing nonstop Lakers videos all year long. We actually did a watch party for this game And if you missed it, well, you shouldn't miss the ones that come up in the future. Hit that sub button. Join us here at the Lakers Report. Nonstop videos all year long. And hit those notification bell as well so you don't miss a thing when we push out a video or we go live. So join the channel. Appreciate you guys if do. That'll do it for today's video. Lakers lose their first game of the season, 119-107. And someone, please find Anthony Davis for me because he went missing in that second half.